So Inc. magazine pops this out. 3 signs that quickly identify someone with bad leadership skills. When employees don't have the right tools, training, time, or support, their morale drops and they might not put in much effort. This can happen right from the start within their first few weeks. It's important to realize that not all managers are created equally, and many must learn how to lead effectively. Through my experience, I've noticed 3 common toxic behaviors in management that can really hurt a team and damage a business. Number 1, failing to recognize people's work. Don't underestimate the power that comes from recognizing high performers who are intrinsically motivated by their work. Gallup surveyed more than 4 million employees worldwide on this topic, and they found that people who receive regular recognition and praise, increase their productivity, increase their engagement among their colleagues, are more likely to stay with their organization and receive higher loyalty and satisfaction scores from customers, have better safety records, and fewer accidents on the job. So how do you turn that around? Well, it's pretty simple. You start recognizing people. Da-da-da. There you go. That wasn't hard. And so I'm going to stop a second and just aside from Inc. magazine here. I'm not sure who the author of this particular article is. I'm not picking on them. But we in business have for a long time used the phrase leader interchangeably with manager. I think words, I'm a word person because I do a lot of writing and books and that kind of thing, and so I think words matter. What does a manager do? They manage. They manipulate, if you want, in a positive way. I don't mean manipulate like a jerk, but one guy said managers count stuff. Leaders are out in front saying, come this way. Bosses push, leaders pull. And so once I heard that, I don't remember where I was, some leadership conference, I'm sure. But once I heard that, I quit using the term manager. We don't have a single title inside Ramsey that says manager. Because I really don't want people counting stuff. I want them leading the way. If you're in a leadership role, meaning there are people supposed to be, following your direction, it's not you cracking a whip on their back, it's you showing the way. And in some cases, knocking down stuff for them so the way is clear when they get there. That's leadership. Leadership is serving. And so leadership would always tend to give other people credit and take the blame. Leadership is service. Leadership would always have a tendency to recognize other people's work and say, way to go, hero. You knocked that out of the park. You're amazing. You're killing it. Your work is incredible. You're beautiful. I love what you do. And, light them up. And sometimes you need to do recognition publicly in front of a whole bunch of people. Occasionally someone, because I've got a young crew here, someone's parents will drop by to visit Ramsey and be in the lobby when I come out of a commercial break. And I get to tell them I'm really glad that their kid is here because their kid's amazing. And we know that they got great parents because great parents are where amazing kids come from. So, yeah, I get to brag on them to their parents. That's pretty neat. That's a neat kind of recognition, right? And, of course, you can also recognize people just by catching somebody doing something right and hand them a $100 bill and say, hey, take your spouse out to dinner this weekend. Oh, there's some nice recognition. So let's create an incentive to walk around and catch people doing something right. There we go. Okay, that's how you turn that around. Number 2, according to Inc. magazine, in the 3 signs that quickly identify someone with bad leadership skills, being a control freak. A boss who micromanages wants to control everything, making the work environment suffocating. They don't trust the team and rarely let others take on bigger tasks. This means there's hardly any room for teamwork or new ideas because the boss calls all the shots. This kind of environment can be frustrating for employees who want to feel valued and enjoy their work. If things don't change, managers might eventually lose their people to a competitor. Oh, they will pretty quickly. How to turn things around. Trust your team to do the work you hired them to do. Shift your focus from task management to results-driven leadership. Yeah, that's leading instead of managing. There you go. Okay. This allows you to prioritize strategic responsibilities, demonstrate trust to your team. So here's the thing. As a team, If you're suffocating the entire team, that makes you a micromanager. But sometimes what happens is a person who's new is good at their particular skill, but they haven't figured out how to apply their skill inside of your company's environment. Because there's a unique way you guys do that thing. And there's a unique maybe set of expectations on that skill worker, that skill team member. And so you're not micromanaging in that situation. You're training. You're mentoring. But as soon as they have shown that they know how to do what they do the way you want them to do it, then if you keep suffocating them, you're definitely a micromanager. You're a control freak. But sometimes people who just generally don't like to be trained or mentored go, well, you're a micromanager. No, not a micromanager. I'm freaking showing you what to do because you don't even know where the bathroom is yet. You just got here. Come on. And so it takes a minute for you to get what's known as a clue. And that's called a training period. That's not, my boss is a micromanager. How long you work there? 2 weeks. No, you don't even know what's going on yet. It's impossible for you to be micromanaged for the first 2 weeks of your employment because you're not even adding the value equal to what you're being paid yet. You're useless in the first 2 weeks. It's impossible that you were micromanaged. At best, you were being trained. So don't just throw around, it's like, he's a micromanager. It's like they throw around, he's a narcissist, she's a narcissist. And like they throw around psychological terms as if they know what they mean. And like everybody who disagrees with you, honey, that is not a narcissist. Let me help you with that, okay? And everybody who's trying to train you is not a micromanager. So, but if you're taking this, the way this Inc. magazine reads this out, I agree with it. Micromanagers wants to control everything, making the work environment suffocating. They don't trust the team and rarely let others take on bigger tasks. Now, I will tell you this too. Sometimes let me say that a different way. Almost always inside of Ramsey, there is a team that's not doing well. There's almost always inside of Ramsey a team that's ringing the bell and doing excellent. Okay? Guess who we're leaving alone? The excellent team that's ringing the bell. Hello. If you micromanage them, that's just stupid. Let them run. The thoroughbreds out of the gate. Let them win the race, man. Here, let's go. But the team that's not doing well, they need help. And just letting them suffer and death spiral and crash the plane, no, we're going to come alongside you and help you. And so that's a time where the whole team might get some additional attention, some additional training, some additional rethink on the business model, our pricing structure, our org chart inside that area. You can get all of that if you're failing, because if you're failing, you haven't earned the right to be left alone. Hello. And so expect some help then from leadership, and that's not micromanaging. But, yeah, the way this is written, I completely agree with the conclusion of the author. Number 3, having the last word. Many managers I've coached over the years operate on the assumption that because they're the boss and in charge, they have to have the last word on everything. A moment of honesty. This person rides on the wheels of low emotional intelligence. When a manager doesn't solicit opinions of others, get buy-in from team members, and listen to the collective voice of the team in pursuing a particular strategy or vision, people don't feel cared for, respected, or valued. Consequently, trust erodes. Moral goes in the tank. How to turn things around. Genuinely listen to feedback. Customer-facing people on the front lines may know more than their bosses. Good managers will leverage this to get more valuable feedback from the team, to manage problems, to create solutions. Very good. I agree with that. Will listen and learn something from their smart and more savvy workers once they operate in an ecosystem instead of an ego system. Yeah, exactly. And so you got to be comfortable enough in your own skin to hear out opinions and to hear out things, even if they're wrong. Let them have a voice and let them finish, and then go, okay, now I've considered that, and here's what we're going to do, and here's why we're going to do what we're going to do, and then we all line up and we go, whether it's in agreement and a direction that the team brought a different suggestion, different strategy, or whether it's something that you, the owner, you, the leader, want to do, and you listened, you at least had a listening session and heard them through. That's absolutely true. So, yeah, I generally agree with that. So, and here's the thing, too. If you've got, for instance, a sales team on the front line, and there's 10 of them, and they all come in with the same conclusion about the price point, that doesn't mean they don't know how to sell. It means you got a problem with the price point. Okay? But if you got 8 of them making sales and one of them's complaining about the price point, that one doesn't know how to sell. That's different. And so, you can listen to the input of the one who's failing and blame it on price point while the other 8 are making their sales goals. But the input, you're just being kind to listen so that you can turn around and go, yeah, but the other 8 ain't got your problem. So the problem might be you. And we got to turn around and start working on you now and help you with your skill set because you're not ringing the bell. You're not closing the sale, as an example. Okay, whatever. Maybe it's a project management issue, not a sales issue. But wherever you are in the thing, you can listen through. And if it's the people on the front lines have really good information about what the customer's doing, but not a single individual gets a vote that changes the whole company because it might be the single individual's weakness that we're dealing with and not the actual customer problem. And so be careful that you ascertain between those. So what we're looking for is a trend line in the opinion that you're gathering. But yeah, listening versus just talking, absolutely. Absolutely, that's the way to go. Well, good article. Well done, Austin. Thanks for pulling that out. Worked out great. So be sure and check this stuff out. Nice job, Inc. Magazine. Gave us something to yak on today and put our little Ramsey spin on it anyway. Good stuff. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.